The Reapers are still out there.
And it's up to us to stop them.
The Council will never trust Cerberus. They'll never accept our help, even after everything humanity has accomplished. But Shepard, they'll follow him. He's a hero, a bloody icon. But he's just one man. If we lose Shepard, humanity might well follow.
Then see to it that we don't lose him.
On January 26, 2010, Mass Effect 2 was released onto the video game world. The follow-up to one of the greatest science fiction games of all time did not disappoint. On May 14, 2021, Mass Effect 2 was re-released and remastered within the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which is what I will be reviewing today. And at the end of the video, I will rank it up against the Legendary Edition of Mass Effect 1. Now, I played through the trilogy back in 2012, so this will be my second time playing through the game, but my first time playing through the remaster.
I knew we brought you back for a reason. I've never seen a better leader.
I've set timestamps in the video, so please feel free to jump ahead to any chapter that you desire. Now, before I get into the game, if you like watching me play through video game franchises and ranking the games along the way, then I invite you to head over to my channel, Trezinator, and subscribe. And if you want to watch me play the games in real time, then you can catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Trezinator. Now, enough of all that, let's get on with the review. As mentioned before, Mass Effect 2 was originally released on January 26, 2010, on the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC. It was developed by BioWare, directed by Casey Hudson, and written by Drew Karpyshyn and Mac Walters. According to an excerpt I found on Wikipedia, before actual production began, BioWare created a list of goals to work towards based on feedback from fans, reviewers, and internal people. The company's main goal was to create an experience that was less about being a game and more about being an experience. And that is exactly what this game feels like, an experience. Much like Mass Effect 1, the storyline is what really drives this game.
Don't you get it? The only one worth saving is you. Everyone else is expendable.
She's right. We all knew the risks when we signed up. Without you, there's no point to any of this.
The game opens up with Commander Shepard being killed in a space shootout with a hostile race known as the Collectors, only for us to find out later that the Collectors are actually pawns for the Reapers. Shepard's body was recovered by a controversial terrorist organization known as Cerberus, who pooled millions of credits and resources into retrieving the deceased commander's body and bringing him back to life. Shepard wakes up in a Cerberus lab and is brought up to speed on his current condition. 2.5 years had passed since Shepard's untimely death. Shepard's former team is now spread out throughout the galaxy and wrapped up in their own conflicts, and although you will cross paths with most of them, only a few will be able to step away from their responsibilities to rejoin your mission to stop the Reaper threat.
Sure you can't come with us?
Wish I could, but I need to keep these short-sighted fools in line.
Through the eyes of most of the galaxy, Cerberus is seen as an extremist terrorist group with heavy human supremacy vibes. This is a conflict in its own, as Cerberus has brought Shepard back into the fight to stop the Reapers and are funding your overall mission throughout the game. The choices Shepard must make often mean choosing what is right morally versus choosing to maintain Cerberus's best interests.
Cerberus is humanity. I should have known you'd choke on the hard decisions. Too idealistic from the start.
Mass Effect 2 is also the only game in the trilogy to feature loyalty missions for all 12 companions, which helps to develop the characters of the game's extensive roster. There are tons of nods and side missions that bleed over from Mass Effect 1 into Mass Effect 2, which helps establish the world building that these games do so well. Overall, the decisions you made in Mass Effect 1 or make in Mass Effect 2 really have you feeling like this is your story and no one else's. BioWare set out to make an experience, and well, they succeeded tenfold. Honestly, the graphics for this game are just fine. This is a remaster, not a reboot, so I was expecting just a polished version of the game. And I noticed nothing awry with the graphics, lighting, shadowing, or anything of that nature. While it is not as scenic as its predecessor, there were still a few times where I stopped to admire the visuals of the game. If I really wanted to nitpick, some of the facial hair looked like it was kind of drawn onto the characters, and occasionally some characters would get this crazy googly-eyed look. But I think this is just some of the dated game engine showing through. Overall, the graphics did not detract from any of my enjoyment from the game. Mass Effect 2 moves away from the RPG elements that the first game gave us. For one, weapon upgrades took a big hit. You can no longer buy and sell weapons and add attachments like you could in the original game, and although I did enjoy doing this and designing each character's loadout, it wasn't something I really missed. This game also replaces the weapon cooldown with ammo. This is basically a staple in most any shooter game, so it's just another small change that didn't make a big difference to me. Instead of buying new weapons and attachments like you did in Mass Effect 1, you will now find research for weapons, suit, and ship upgrades along your way. This allows you to spend a lot less time managing your inventory and instead focusing on the task at hand. I actually think I prefer this more than what we got in Mass Effect 1. The Mako is also missing from this game, and while I did enjoy some of the Mako missions from Mass Effect 1, I think this was the right decision. Instead, we get introduced to the Hammerhead, a smoother, more stylish Mako with much less missions. The dialogue is really what drives this game, forcing you to make your own decisions and living with their circumstances. Not much has changed in this aspect of the game.
I better go.
Mass Effect 2 gives us a whopping 12 squad mates, doubling the count from Mass Effect 1. We are introduced to a ton of new characters and even some new races not seen in ME1, like the Drell, Vorcha, and Yogg. Each character comes with their own loyalty mission. Completing each character's loyalty mission not only provides more backstory for the character and ever-expanding Mass Effect story, but it also unlocks a new ability for said character and improves their chance of survival come the final mission. This gives the player more incentive to complete the optional loyalty missions for each squad mate. Everyone might play Mass Effect differently, and I think that this makes the game more appealing to different kinds of gamers. For instance, I put in almost 40 hours of the game as I tend to be more of a completionist, whereas someone who might only want to complete the main story and maybe their favorite character's loyalty mission could beat the game in a fraction of the time. Despite all of my time spent with the game, the story still felt kind of short, even 40 hours later. This isn't necessarily a complaint, it just felt to me like these characters are so rich and interesting that it feels like we are just starting to get to know them and then the story ends. The overall controls do feel a little dated compared to 2021 standards, but that was to be expected. The controls tend to be a little wonky here and there, and if you don't take cover during a firefight, you're sure to meet your end. My only real complaint about the controls and gameplay is that I found Shepard getting caught on corners during almost every one of my play sessions. It was a minor annoyance, but you would think for a remaster they would have fixed something like this. Where the gameplay really shines is in the final mission. Every character is involved, and you actually feel like you're taking command of your team. I'm just going to take a moment to talk about some minor spoilers, so click ahead to my ranking if you don't want the final mission ruined. During the final mission, Shepard shouts orders to his team, and you really feel like the team needs to work together to take down the Reaper threat. Although you can still only control Shepard and 2 squad mates, the game prompts you to give orders to your other squad mates based on their unique skill sets. This is not only hands down the best mission in the game, but it might be the best mission in the series. Overall, Mass Effect 2's combat and inventory management tried to distance itself from its predecessor, taking away RPG elements and trying to rebrand itself as more of a shooter at heart. When putting this up against Mass Effect 1, I think it's clear that Mass Effect 2 is the better game, for me anyway. They took a bunch of the time-consuming inventory management and tried to make the gameplay more efficient. Mass Effect 2 introduced a ton of new, fun, and interesting characters and races that helped expand the series' world building. Forcing Shepard to work with a terrorist organization for the betterment of the galaxy was a great storyline decision, in my opinion. I often look at Mass Effect 2 in a similar way that I look at The Empire Strikes Back, Aliens, or Terminator 2. This game took all of the best things from Mass Effect 1 and expanded it. So with that, my ranking of the Mass Effect franchise currently sits like this. Number 1, Mass Effect 2. Number 2, Mass Effect. Now I invite you to join me next time as I will be playing through and ranking Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 3 often gets a bad rap, but is it really as bad as people remember? I'm about to find out as the Mass Effect playthrough continues. Hey, if you like this video, it would mean a great deal to me if you could give it a big thumbs up. If you enjoy watching me review and rank entire video game franchises, then I invite you to subscribe to my channel, Tresinator. And if you want to watch me play through these games in real time, then please follow me at twitch.tv/Tresinator. Also, please check out my Discord community, Cool Nerd Nation, where you can share your stream or YouTube with the community and also chat with a bunch of other video game and comic nerds. All links will be posted in the description below. Until next time, thank you for watching.